All right, no introductions needed. But here we have a power steering pump from a 2008 Mercedes GL450 4MATIC. I think they're all 4MATIC, but it's from the X164 engine. It's similar to the same thing I have on my S430 2004. So I think what I'm about to do will cover years all the way from 2000, probably up to 2013 or something like that. But I noticed in 1999 was the last that I saw of any information about rebuilding this power steering pump and anything after. There are plenty of people who was rebuilding them. I just couldn't find nothing about rebuilding the power steering pump on a Mercedes 2008. I guess that would include 2007 as well. Pretty much all of the models, probably from 2000 to 2014 or 15, probably carry the same pump, just with different bracket or bolt locations. So what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to open it, take it apart to see what O-rings I have or need, because I changed the reservoir. It stopped the leak a little bit. It wasn't making no crazy noise. It was just still leaking very slightly. I don't know if you guys will see it. And yeah, I think you guys probably can see it. I put dye in it. It was mostly around this area. Okay, this is the 2008 Mercedes GL450, and this is the power steering pump with the reservoir already removed. The green you see is the dye that I have in the power steering fluid. And this is the view from the wheel well. A lot of people say that it's easier to access the bolt that's behind the power steering pump this way. And actually, I found it easier just going in from the top with a stubby with an E12 socket attached. Now, that's on this particular model. The GL450 definitely has more room than other models. I removed the cooling fan and was able to access it pretty simply.
All right, this is the power steering pump after I had removed it from the vehicle. I cleaned it off a little bit already, as you can see. All I used was brake parts cleaner. I used a little spray nozzle attachment to kind of get a little more precise pinpoint action on it. And, it cleaned up pretty well. You see the stuff just comes right off. So I cleaned it up on the outside first before even opening the pump. I didn't want any, debris to get off in the pump. I had previously did a full fluid flush on it. So I definitely wanted to clean it up as much as possible before opening it to prevent any debris from possibly getting in the pump, because that can definitely damage more components of the pump. So if you're going to do this, be careful, and I say just try to clean it up really, really good before even going into it.
But like I was saying, I've cleaned it since, but I did see a lot of the dye showing up like in this area, like right there, like along that line. And that looks like where that back piece meets. So my theory is, I didn't see much more anywhere else, but I did clean it. But like I said, I'm going to start by taking this apart, looking at what I have to work with. Looks like it's only held on by 4 bolts. This should come off. And I think if I remove the pulley here, there are 2 more bolts behind it. I should be able to get the front off. I didn't see much leaking there, but probably to be safe, I probably can open it from this end and see a lot as far as what else is going on in there.
Seems like they want you to buy a refurbished one. Like I said, I would gladly buy a new one. This is my mom's vehicle, so I didn't have a problem paying whatever it was for a new one. But everywhere I look, Benz dealerships, Auto House, AZ, FCP, Euro, And all of them only had refurbished OEM pumps. Even the Mercedes-Benz dealerships that I looked, that's all they had available was OEM refurbished for about $250 to $300. And then when I put it in my cart to check out, it went from $300 to $500. So when I read it has a core charge. You're $450 to $500 plus tax. And then you have to ship yours back in to receive a $200 credit. I don't want to deal with that. You know, what if something happens, you don't get it? And the more I thought about it, and I saw a guy talking about it, the more I got upset. That it was a $1 billion business, the unknown business. Like, it seems like he was bragging about it. But the unknown business, to where he was saying that, some guy would go to a junkyard and maybe pull a bunch of them off, pay about $12 for them, and then they would bring it to him. He'd give the guy $30 for each, and then he ships them off to somewhere to get them rebuilt. He's probably making a killing. But at the end of the day, someone takes a junk part for $12 from the junkyard, and it goes through a cycle. Then I end up having to pay $300 for it and give them my old one so they can make another $300. So yeah, if you made it this far, you probably could feel where I'm coming from. Definitely didn't appreciate that. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna break this thing apart myself. I'm gonna figure it out, or I'm gonna do a video about it, because there's no other videos I saw. I saw other videos of different pumps getting built, but this particular one, well, this is for the GL 450 2008, and that's the X164 model, and I have a 04 S430 that I have outside as well. It doesn't have issues, but these are very similar in design.
So, kind of rambling on because, like just giving you the preface of, what I'm going to try to attempt to do, because I don't have particular instructions. But either way, that's what I plan on doing. Hopefully I can share it with you guys. Hopefully it'll help some people. All right. Now they got these same instructions on a lot of places, but they say try to make a mark to where when it's time to put things back together, you can remember which orientation everything was in. So that's what I'll do.
Let's say there, here, right? I'll put B for bottom. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we have so far. And that's what it looks like. So I'll break it down in summary once I discover more. All right, guys. All right, I went to Ace Hardware, where they actually had seemingly the right size O-rings. This is the one I took off. It's a little flat, Actually went to my local Ace Hardware, and I know I bought 3 of them. Now this is the older one, and this is the one I got from Ace. They were definitely very close as far as the diameter, but you can see there. Of course, this is the older one, so it's actually flattened. This one's a little thicker. I feel much more confident with a thicker one. Just showing y'all in comparison. This O-ring kind of sits. Let's see. It sits here on top of the other metal one. It kind of sits there. When I took it out, it was sitting there. But you could probably just place it in there. So this is the one I placed earlier. I already had. Here's another O-ring that I just got. And you see that it fits right in there, hopefully. Yep. Yeah, it fits right in there, nice and even, not bunched up. I didn't pay attention to the diameter. I just went to the O-rings in that section of Ace Hardware. They were sold as individuals. Put mine side by side and got the right diameter. But it kind of looks like that's wider. And you see the difference in the thickness, which I think is very, very comparable, because You gotta remember, this has been on there. This probably could work, but paying $20 to get that pack and really not able to even use it, just a learning experience. Just go to your local Ace Hardware store. You can just match up the diameter. It's going to stretch and go around the outer edge of here. So probably good that it's like that, so it's snug. I feel much more confident that this is going to hold me. Definitely don't think I'm going to have to use any type of RTV, but I did put some dielectric grease on it. Now I got it on, and hopefully it's on. I just kind of held it on and made sure to get it on there quickly so that the O-ring wouldn't, slip out of its place and down like off into the pump itself. You kind of want it to stay on the outer edge, I guess, to avoid that. If you're not confident, just make sure when you get your O-ring, you get the size that it is. Try to match it as much as possible. Or you can actually put it in like hot water for just a little while and then, kind of distort and stretch that rubber a little bit more than it is. There's no instructions on how to do this anywhere, so my other alternative that I was going to do was buy one. But locally, I got basically 3 O-rings, and it cost me $1.81. So you want to be careful kind of not to strip any of these. I think I partially did strip one. And now that I'm looking, I think I probably used the wrong thing. This actually looks like a E-Torx, and I used a hex bit. So I probably will see what size T, and then I'll let y'all know just for sure. If need be, I can get those off pretty easy. Okay, a T30 will fit perfectly, but I had a T27, and it worked well, and I was able to crank it down ever so slightly, just a tad more. Yeah, I don't think I need much more. I don't think they use any Loctite on these, because when I pulled them off, I didn't see any color on them. I don't know if this comes off. I tried to give it a turn, but it didn't go. But what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of gasket maker around there just to ensure that that's sealed. And I think that comes off too. Well, here I kind of skipped the part of installing it back onto the vehicle. I figure if you are looking at this, you probably know how to remove it, replace it. This is just for someone who's interested in rebuilding this particular pump. If you're actually looking at it, you know most of the ins and outs. I'm just kind of showing you that it can happen. And right now I'm up under the car. I know it looks dark, but it is daytime. And I'm just showing my light on, that's the power steering pump. And, the other one was the compressor. But I'm just looking around for any of that green dye that may have leaked or still may be leaking after running the vehicle. And I don't see any. So that's a great thing. But yeah, you see the little bright green. That's actually the dye leaking. I wiped it, so it's not a lot right now, but it seems like that was leaking. That's the only thing I saw. And up there, it can fool you because when you shine it, it looks green, but that's just the color of that plastic piece on top of that steering rack. So that is not leaking. I spent about 30 minutes trying to wipe that off, but it's just that the color of that piece right there. And there's actually another piece on the other side of the rack from this side that's that color. So, make sure that it's not a tag or some crazy throwing you off making you think it's still leaking, but it seems like that's what my problem is. And I'm gonna try to tighten it down and see if that can hold it. If not, I know I'll be all right if that's all that's leaking. Yeah, ain't doing it, man. I check the power steering fluid level daily before and after driving, and you can see that this is right at the minimum, or it's where it's supposed to be when the engine's cold, and it hasn't moved since, so I call that a success. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe if you want, and thanks for watching.